What's up, you guys? Welcome to Fightful. Ross Sapp, AEW Dynamite, March 4th, 2026. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We've got new stars in AEW. We've got details on their deals as brought to you by FightfulSelect.com. We've got new champions in AEW. We'll be talking about that as well. We will be joined by one Alex Pawlowski momentarily. Oh man, get your super chats in, get your humper chats in. I've had a couple weeks off the post AEW show, picking my spots a little bit, but we're gonna have Alex here momentarily. And listen, I got a lot of insight for tonight's show. Leave a thumbs up on this video, get your super chats in, get your humper chats in. I have an interview with Persephone that is out on Thursday. I dropped a little quick conversation with Drew McIntyre today. I had Rocky Romero last week, which does play into the Finlay thing. Let's go ahead and talk about the Finlay thing while I'm here. David Finlay officially finished up with New Japan Pro Wrestling this past week. He's done there. As of now, of course, he could still appear. He is now in AEW. Clark Connors is officially signed. We had given word that this was going to occur a couple weeks ago. Gabe Kidd was a little bit more of a foggy territory, so to speak. I kept hearing like he's got a deal. Like there was somebody well connected in wrestling. It's like he's got a deal, but even people close to Gabe was like, yeah, he's playing it kind of close to the vest. But he does have an AEW deal. I think he should be leading the War Dogs as things stand. But in previous months, Fightful Select had been reporting that David Finlay wanted to come to the United States. He wanted to make the trip, or not make the trip, make the move back home. I mean, he was already living back home. He's in Georgia every time I interview him, but wanted to work in the United States, wanted to be closer to family. Clark Connors also wanted to be back home. I mean, listen, he's either dating or married to Thekla. She's doing great in AEW. If tonight's any indication, Clark Connors is going to do fine in AEW. They are all officially signed. Gabe Kidd, I don't know that he's done or anything with New Japan. I would imagine he's still going to do some New Japan dates, but I'm still working on that one. That one's not nearly as clear cut. But Finlay is done. He's on a multi-year deal. Fightful Select reported it came together in the last week. Now, I saw people claiming that like the media was saying, oh, David Finlay's going to WWE, and it was like some big loss. Listen, I never reported he was going to WWE. I reported that they had contact, and they did, but there was not really an update for a number of weeks on that. And people that I talked to in WWE did not seem to think that he was coming into the company. I think that he would have actually been a really great fit in WWE. I think that he would have been a really, really awesome addition to NXT, especially when you're going to have people like Ricky Starks and Ethan Page and Joe Hendry eventually coming up. They like to restock those cupboards with people who are globally televised. Now, I would imagine Evil ends up going to WWE. I just don't know main roster or NXT. I would imagine Hiromu Takahashi would go to WWE and probably NXT first. Those are a couple of good names that they can get into the fold there. But I actually thought that David Finlay would be a better fit there. That being said, him being with the War Dogs, who are now known as just the Dogs, you could do a lot worse than that. I do think that Gabe Kidd should lead that group. Nothing against David Finlay. I like David Finlay an awful lot. He has improved significantly. But I just think that Gabe Kidd is main event level ready right now. So while we're on that subject, David Finlay and AEW, there was a lot of back and forth that people were talking about. Oh, well, there were people saying that Tony didn't like him. And I was like, listen, if Tony Khan did not like David Finlay's work, David Finlay would have never been on any AEW shows. Tony Khan does not like Toru Yano's work. Has he ever been on a Forbidden Door or an AEW show? No. He didn't like Evil's work either. Evil had never been on one of those shows. David Finlay was brought in for a Dynamite almost 4 years ago, and that's before he improved drastically. He was put on Dynamite in Missouri and had like a 10-minute match with Hangman Page. Then he was also on Wrestle Dynasty last year after the Tokyo Dome. And AEW does have some say into who are on those shows. He was on it. So, I think that is pretty interesting there. And also, how do the Bang Bang Gang work into all this? That's a natural feud, right? You've got the Bang Bang Gang with Juice and the Guns and Ace Austin and all that and Switchblade. Will they group together? Will they become a thing? New Japan's not even using Bullet Club anymore. Will they go into that? I don't know. We do have our lovely guest arriving here. He is the one. He is the only. He is Alex Pawlowski, whose devices are not connected as of yet. And while he connects said devices, we'll tell you how to save a lot of money. Actually, we'll tell you how to make a lot of money. Whoa! You can bet on wrestling? Yes, you can at MyBookie AG. You might say, oh, who would allow that? MyBookie AG does. So, if you're that confident, if it's so easy to bet on pro wrestling, head over to MyBookie AG. Make yourself some money. They say you can bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. And it's not just pro wrestling. They got casino games. They got all kinds of great stuff. Every sport you can imagine. From the NFL to floorball. And if you don't know what floorball is, it's time for you to put some money down on it. Head over there right now at MyBookie AG. Get a $50 bonus when you deposit $100 or a $100 bonus when you deposit $200. They have an incredible amount of bet back bonuses and just great additional features. We only want you to bet what you can, and please bet responsibly. They have a wonderful support system. Head over to MyBookie AG, where you can bet on pro wrestling. Alex Pawlowski is here, and while we speak of MyBookie AG, he will be covering this weekend's NXT Vengeance Day. Blake Monroe is a betting favorite, Joe Hendry a betting favorite, Lola Vice a betting favorite, Tatum Paxley, and Tony D'Angelo. Do any of those stick out as like things you're not expecting to happen this weekend?
No, that all kind of rings true. The Kalani, I thought maybe if they were extending that feud, but they don't need to for sure.
You know what's wild? Like, I think Randy Orton was the second highest betting favorite from MyBookie for the Elimination Chamber, which I didn't expect.
Right.
And then I saw our good friend Demon Diva posting that Lana, CJ Perry, had like that she wouldn't shut up in the press box, like, oh, Randy's gonna win, which, shocking. And then I thought about it and I'm like, wait a second. CJ sent me a text message in January predicting this. I was like, and she really did not. It was just a guess. And she got that right in January. That is Steph Curry level range on a pick like that. Very impressive. So maybe you all should listen to CJ Perry, aka Lana, for some betting tips along the way. Now, Alex, I kicked off this show by talking about the acquisition of David Finlay. We did have a match that preceded this. And I got to say, I kind of dig Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy as a tag team. Like, it's one that I hadn't really considered them putting together, but they really are like two sort of originals in AEW. There was a great spot through the table ringside. Orange Cassidy gets the pin. And then we get the Finlay debut. What were your thoughts on David Finlay? As quite frankly, it was going to be on one of the two shows you cover primarily for Fightful. It was going to be on NXT or AEW.
Yeah.
It ends up being AEW.
Yeah. I mean, that's an awkward conversation with your brother. Like, hey, bud, I love you. Can't wait to see you at the family reunion. However, my creative happiness is worth more to me than spending time with you.
I don't know that WWE was in on him. I don't know that for sure.
I mean, if they weren't, I mean, I don't know. But here's the deal. If the options are be in a faction that has been heretofore led by Lexus King, in which one of the guys who's about the birthright has a birthright through marriage, or come in
I
here
love
and
that,
hang
by
out
the
with
way.
Clark Connors and Gabe
love
Kidd.
it.
I mean,
it is such a pro wrestling
this was
thing to have a birthright through marriage.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer to me. This is a great choice. I love these guys. I think it's great. I love Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors together. Really love that Clark Connors vignette from Collision. Thought that was really cool. Like the way they're presenting him. Gabe Kidd's been a favorite for well over a year now. I like the idea of like bringing them all over together as a group. My favorite part of the Darby and Orange Cassidy thing is how little Orange Cassidy seems to want to do it, because that is my spirit animal. Like, I don't want to hang out with Darby, really. Like that, just because
he's a lot.
Okay, fine. You know, he is a lot, and that was funny to me.
I want OC to come out on a razor scooter, or like something very slow. Something incredibly slow, like the skateboard.
He's got to do it on one of those hoverboard things where you just lean forward to make it go, but he's got both hands in his pockets. They
got a ramp. I mean, like, that would go badly.
The least amount of effort possible. Slightly shift your weight forward. That's what he wants. Segway would be good, but you got to use both hands. Like, he's got to have hands in his pockets.
My God. Yeah, I rather enjoy them as a team. I love the table spot ringside, by the way. But David Finlay
was a really great spot, yeah.
Joining AEW. We have a lot more on that on FightfulSelect.com, as we have WrestleVotes Radio tomorrow, which will have at least 3 big stories on it, as always. Subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. We have the Andrade and Bandito segment backstage. Bandito mentions he's been a big fan of Andrade since he was a kid, and Andrade offers him a selfie, which I really like. But we kicked off the show with MJF beating Kevin Knight. Now, obviously, they like Kevin Knight a lot, very clearly.
Definitely do.
I will state the qualifier that I will always complain about. You have a trios champion challenging for the world title. And again, I would just like there to be enough. Well, listen, he still defended it tonight. There's that, but
right.
I don't need champions facing champions, and we're going to talk about more champions winning titles later on.
Here's the thing that makes that I allow for the exception is that Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey are the classic eyes bigger than their stomachs thing. Like, yeah. Well, we're the trios champs. We'll fight anybody. You got a title? We're coming for that too. And if you want our titles, come on, fight us anytime you want, any place you want. We don't care. And they're crucially 2/3 of a trio. And that third guy is never in the segments where they're like, we'll take on all comers, me and him and our friend who's not involved in this process. And I love that came back to bite them. And honestly, in kayfabe, Hangman should be really pissed at them for their levying a challenge at the Don Callis family as Hangman is supposed to be getting ready for the most important match of his life. Because if he loses this, not only is he not the champion, he'll never be the champion again. This is the most important match of his life, but he is 1/3 of a trio that can't stop writing checks that their asses cannot collectively cash. I like that is what Kevin Knight is doing right now. He's got the skills to back it up, but he can't back it up over and over and over and over again the way he's insinuating all these fights starting.
Well, we got MJF beating Kevin Knight.
Yep.
Kevin Knight has a great showing in this match,
He
per
does.
usual. He hits his big frog splash, but then MJF gets his knees up on the second one, goes for the heat seeker. I would love MJF to have like a middle of the ring, impact finisher as well. But listen, right now it's working for him, and I know he's got the arm bar as well. But again, I Also, I love that as a finish too. I just love that move, any sort of pile driver variation. But MJF has been proving a point, I think, over the last number of weeks, doing all the indies and doing all that stuff, wrestling, Zilla Fatu and wrestling Brody King and defending the title at every opportunity, defending the title at Limitless against Alec Price, defending the title against Kevin Knight. How is this sitting with you, Alex? Because he did some of this last year too, while he was still filming a movie and was traveling back and forth Mexico, Canada, US.
It is interesting. Like, they're having him fight all these guys so quickly. It does make me think, well, maybe they're just putting the title back on Hanger. Maybe that's how they get out of this with this incredible stipulation that they've laid out for themselves, as if MJF is fighting all of these guys because he won't be champ for that much longer. They want to get those title matches out of the way. I don't know. You can't say he's not a fighting champion. As the sniveling heel, he is absolutely a fighting champion, and I like it. I was not a fan of the finish of the match. Like, the Bryce Remsburg had to fake a ref bump where he wasn't in position to be shoved into the middle rope, so he had to fall to his knees and kind of do that weird thing where you walk on your knees over to the middle rope, and then, oh no, my throat. And then we got a visual 12 count, because he was pinning him, because Knight was pinning MJF for a long time before Remsburg goes over there and does the Bryce Remsburg full body 1, full body 2, full body no. And I just think that that's a hell of a thing to give to Kevin Knight. We watched him pin the champ. If the ref had been available, he would be the world champ right now. That's a major statement in the direction of Kevin Knight. But also, to me, I would rather the world champ look like he can beat guys, especially going into a match with Hangman. I think what it's supposed to do, perhaps, is sow some doubt. Well, Hangman can beat MJF. MJF almost lost the title to Kevin Knight. Hangman's better than Kevin Knight. Okay, we'll all be secure in our thought that Hangman is winning the title back, and that allows some doubt to creep in. But I would prefer that Kevin Knight give MJF a fantastic match and MJF beat him. There's no shame in losing to MJF. He's a very good wrestler. I know he cheats often, but he doesn't have to cheat all the time. And this particular time, maybe he does a little eye poke, and that's enough to get him involved and do something with that. And he doesn't have to do the full ref bump and all that. But other than that, I thought the match leading up to that was excellent.
Yeah. We have so MJF gets the win. Afterwards, Hangman makes the distraction. Speedball kicks MJF, which did set things up for later in the night. And obviously, probably will set up a match between MJF and Speedball down the line too.
Perhaps, yeah. I mean, Speedball, he's got his hands full. He's going after Kyle Fletcher right now. So, there's a lot of what do you call it? A lot of balls in the air for old Speedball. A lot of speedballs in the air.
James Stalling says Darby and Cassidy fit so well together. Cassidy's sloth personality and mannerisms, Darby's wild, fast-paced style. It works, I think. That I do too. I think that the contrast really fits. I think that it goes just incredibly well together. Dave Koss says, happy for Finlay to do as he chooses. That's awesome for him. Just bummed because AEW is such a loaded roster-wise, and I miss guys, girls that aren't on the show, as it is such another debut that wasn't ideal. I mean, the group, I like the group. How they're used is a TBD because
we'll see. Yeah.
And again, so many title belts, for the love of God. So many title belts on all of these shows. And it's just, oh my God.
I mean, if the dogs, by the way, we got to just the dogs. I feel like, I know you can't call them the war dogs, but the dogs just feels like, I don't know. It just it's a downgrade from being a war dog to being a dog. But anyway, if they were trios champions by Allin, I wouldn't be opposed to that, and I wouldn't be surprised by it. I don't think the Don Callis family needs to hold the trios titles for a long time, but I do think that these three guys could be a very good trios champion for like 4 or 5 months.
And we also, by the way, people will say, well, how does New Japan feel about AEW taking all their talent? So I actually asked Rocky Romero about this last week. I was like, how do you feel about this? Because you work for both. And he goes, well, the alternative is them going to WWE and us never getting the possibility to use them ever. And I was like, okay, fair point. But yeah, we had the inspiration. Oh, I love this. It's Brawling Birds against the Inspiration. Mm-hmm. You would have thought that Cassie Lee and Jess McKay burgled and punted the dogs of every AEW fan. Like, people, why? And I was like, guys, it's all right. Like, I couldn't mention a Danhausen without AEW fans being like, we don't like that shit. Like, ever. Well, the Inspiration came out and got squashed by the Brawling Birds.
They got squashed.
And I think it's the right way to debut them. I do. I think that they're little talking along each other vignettes on social work, and then them doing this, it's the right move. They have familiarity. People know who they are. They've been on WWE. They've been on TNA.
Yep.
They're obviously not ascending immediately to the top of the card. I saw somebody post, wow, they won the TNA Knockouts titles in their debut and they get squashed in their AEW debut. And I'm like, I'll let you guess which one pays probably 3-4 times more.
They're
over the moon right now, buddy.
Yeah. The one thing I was missing was later in the evening, a Renee Paquette backstage interview where they are crashing out over how they've been mistreated by AEW. Like, let's like the Iconics, the Billy Kay, Peyton Royce backstage interviews in WWE were, for lack of a better word, iconic.
Yeah.
And like some of the funniest stuff backstage that was happening during that era was all Billy Kay. Like, and her being completely indignant at the mistreatment of having to lose matches. And I thought it would be really funny for them to come in as these bubbly blondes, like, hey, we're the Inspiration. We're going to come in and take over the division. They get squashed and they go backstage and go, what the hell's all this then? Like, I thought that could have been really funny. And maybe we'll still get more of that. Maybe they have like 3 or 4 squash losses in a row and then immediately crash out. I could honestly see it could be a lot of fun. But yeah, I do think this is it's fine to do it. They're a really great comedy duo. You know what I mean? Like they're a lot of fun. I'm willing to see, how they get used, and I'm not going to judge what they are in AEW after one match. I will let this play out.
I'm all for it. I like it. Brawling Birds. Listen, I was saying during the tag tournament, I wanted them to win the tag team titles in the tournament. Mm-hmm. I think they will win the tag titles very soon. I really don't like when somebody has 2 title belts on them because
yes,
there you go. Chad Enjoy Sailing says Inspiration and the Max Caster role can be very fun. Yes, they don't need to win to be over. And they still use the Harley theme song, which I love. Mm-hmm. I love. Noise says, too bad they already have the Hellhounds. Calling Finley's group the Bloodhounds would have been way cooler than just calling them the Dogs. Well, here's what we can do. As someone once said in our chat, he's got that Doug in him. They can be the Douglases.
They can be the Douglases. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Anthony Velasquez says, I like the Inspiration, but I know them as a comedy act to their WWE days, so it was the right call to squash them here. Yeah, it's fine. And I think they will get ironically over, like
Yes.
Harley Cameron, maybe with Harley Cameron at some point.
Perhaps by then.
Once they decide that Willow actually holds a singles title belt and decide to remember that, maybe that's the route we go. Dave Koss says the Birds are great. Don't wait till Wembley to crown them. Listen, beyond that, I like the idea of them being the Road Warriors of the division and carrying it into Wembley, because you're crowning Ospreay that night, almost certainly, right? Like you're almost certainly crowning him.
No, you should. They should be the ones to take it off of the Babes of Wrath, not in a disrespectful way, but we're the next ones to be the new champs. Like, have Willow and Harley shake their hands afterwards. Have Willow move on to be the TBS champion. Harley can still be her friend or whatever, but
I would love to see a situation where Willow competes and she's like, this is starting to catch up to me, all this stuff. And she has a barn burner of a TBS title match. Either she just barely wins or loses it. And then she's got to defend the neck, or like later in the night. And you would expect Harley to take the pin. No, they beat the ever-loving shit out of Willow. Yeah. And Harley's just there standing like, I didn't even get to get in the ring. Yeah. Like, because Willow's so beat down from it. Sure. And that you could kind of do that. I like them being the Road Warriors right now. But speaking of, we had Hangman Page, Big Boot, and Buckshot Lariat, Marty Snow. This was very quick. I love a good squash match.
Yeah. That was fun. Yeah.
Like then we got the Hangman MJF promo. It gets interrupted by Okada and Aussie Open, and we get the big match set up for the end of the night. Don Callis family versus Jet Set Rodeo. I do feel like the Don Callis promo got it dragged a little bit.
It did. I mean, I like that he basically he took too long to say it, but your boys were dumb enough to call out my boys and say anytime, any place. Well, the time is now, and the place is right here in the main event. And Hangman should have been looking at them like, what have you gotten me into? You know what I mean? And Kevin Knight, whose ribs are all taped up because of the match with MJF, this is his doing. Him and Speedball made this happen. He's got to wrestle 2 matches tonight because of his own big mouth. And I kind of like the idea, I'm not sure that they'll do this, of this being a thing that like follows him. And until he learns his lesson, he'll still keep finding himself in things he shouldn't be, because he keeps making challenges that he probably shouldn't.
Vicky says, hi, SRS and Alex. I see Hangman winning and us getting Hangman Swerve again with Ospreay showing up at the end of Revolution. Loving Orange and Darby. I don't think we're getting Hangman winning. I really don't.
No, I don't think we are either.
And listen, people act like it's a forever thing. You could literally do another match where MJF has to put up that stipulation in order to face Hangman whenever that may be. Yeah. I'd be completely fine with that. I'm not a big fan of this angle, but I am a big fan of it possibly giving Hangman another reason to be depressed from an on-screen perspective. Sure. Like, you know what I mean? Because he plays that really well.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't ever have to be the world champion for the next few years. And he can certainly be the international champion or the continental champion or the national champion or the TNT champion or one half of the tag champions or 1/3 of the trios champions. You see that I'm keep on talking here because that's how many championships they have. There are a lot of other titles he can hold and make that title into something special. What I don't want is for them to have him lose this match and then find some cheap loophole for him to become the world champion, because Hangman has always been a man of his word. Even when he was a heel, he never lied. He was a bad dude to certain people, but he never lied. And I don't want him to have to go back on this unless there is a very, very, very good reason for it.
We've got Dave Koss saying nothing like wanting Jet Speed to stop talking. Actually, we'll We'll read that at the end. That one's on me. That one's not on Luis, actually. That one's on me. Jon Moxley defeated Hechicero. Hechicero looked incredible in this match.
So
I love that
so
rolling
much.
pin that he did. Every time Hechicero does this spot into the ropes where he misses, and every time he does it, no matter where it is, I go, oh, like that.
Yeah.
And then Moxley hits the curb stomp and the Death Rider. Oh, man, listen, Hechicero is one of those guys that doesn't, I mean, he gets a lot of online love and all that stuff, but he, like little things like that, where every single time he does it, I get a reaction, and I've never seen him get hurt off of it, but he's fantastic. But Moxley does end up dragging Hechicero down and beats him. Alex, what do you think of this?
Listen, we're building to something. Having Mox defend against members of the Don Callis family on his way to having the big no time limit match against Takeshita, that all makes a lot of simple wrestling sense. But along the way, the matches we're getting have been uniformly outstanding. So I don't hate this one bit, and I love Hechicero. He's the kind of guy, if they actually are starting to use this now taped only in Jacksonville ROH, and they're going to make it into something different. Hechicero is the kind of guy I would love seeing as like the pure champion down there. His specific brand of technical wrestling, like I want to see those matches against a lot of the young guys who are playing in ROH. If his role in the Don Callis family is to every now and then has a very good 15 to 17 minute match on TV and loses, I want to see what else he can do if he's in a position where he is going to win some matches in a row. Let's see what that is like.
We get the Death Rider promo, Yuta bald as well. Marina calls out Toni Storm and says that she should make her laugh, calls her a pussy. Toni Storm is backstage trying to console Orange Cassidy as well. Any thoughts on the Death Rider promo and us continuing with Marina and Toni?
I mean, the Marina Toni thing is interesting. It is kind of like the entire faction of the Death Riders is now like tweener anti-heroes.
Yeah.
But some of them are tweener leaning face and some of them are tweener leaning heel. And it's weird. And they're all just like, well, yeah, that's your business. I'm not going to dictate to you, my faction mate, how you should treat other people you're feuding with. That's fine with me. I've got your back no matter what. This is basically an entire faction of Stings and Lugers. Like, isn't it like because Moxley is definitely the like tweener leaning face in this whole thing. He's been that for a while. He's the guy who's like, Yuta, you signed up for this match. You lost. Get it back in there and get your head shaved. But Yuta is still a little piece of shit. And Marina wants to beat the hell out of Toni Storm, who is a fan favorite babyface. And like Claudio is straight down the middle. I'll beat up whoever you put in front of me, heel or face. And Pac is a bastard. Like, I kind of like how they just morphed these guys into something completely different from what they were 7 months ago. They're not good guys, but they're definitely not bad guys anymore.
We have FTR and the Bucks backstage, and Stokely shows up. He's still in a wheelchair. It's March. He's still in a wheelchair.
He's going to be in there for a while.
Yes, he's going to be there for a long time. And FTR ends up attacking Cutler, who kind of forgot about. But I'm glad to see him at least get a little bit of TV time, because AEW pulled all their talent from not Mystery Wrestling, from A1 Wrestling, Alpha One, Ethan Page's company, because they got a TV deal. So dude's missing out on regular work. So I'm hopeful that like maybe this will up his bookings or something. But that wasn't even the real most interesting part of this. They did that because they said they couldn't attack the Young Bucks. But later on, Ciampa is doing a promo on Fletcher, and FTR is just like, yo, join FTR. Like, join us. And Ciampa was like, well, yeah, we did have a lot of great times, great matches together, but like, I hated you then, and I still hate you now. Nothing has changed. I respect you, but I hate you. And he says no. Anthony Velasquez says that segment has me wanting Gargano to come to AEW. Don't know his status, but run Ciampa Gargano versus FTR back in AEW. Boy, Alex.
Yeah.
It seemed like some foreshadowing. I can't confirm anything.
Yeah.
But
Tommaso Ciampa doesn't have a tag partner in AEW. I guess he could find one, but he doesn't have one. And the FTR they're a tag team. When I heard the music, it was this weird thing. I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And then, oh my God, of course. Yes. And then Dax gives him a hug, and Ciampa like, I hated you guys back a decade ago, and I'm pretty sure I still hate you now. Slaps him, and then Dax says, "I'll see you at Collision." But I thought they were saying, "Oh, we're gonna get a Ciampa versus Dax match at Collision." But unless Dax is pulling double duty, no, we're not, because they're defending the titles against the Rascals on Collision. So I'm really excited to see where this leads. The first half of the promo, I thought we were getting Tommaso Ciampa facing Mark Briscoe for the right to challenge Kyle Fletcher. And that's what it seemed like. Because if I got to go through Mark Briscoe to get back to Kyle Fletcher, that's what I'm going to do. I'm like, okay, well, I suppose, okay, fine. But then we're like, okay, now new direction. He's doing this thing with FTR now, maybe. Okay. So like it immediately made me maybe very interested in what old Planky McGee over on SmackDown is doing, because that just seems like a thing to do to wind out your contract. It does to me. I don't know.
Yeah. And if you like new directions, use Blue Chew Gold with the code FIGHTFUL.
Yeah.
Moo2K4. Well, hold on. Let's break down this username before, because I've seen it. Moo2K4. That would insinuate
it's obviously
2004.
Yeah, it's obviously a cow that is 22 years old.
I was going to say, because they didn't make that in 2004. YouTube wasn't around then.
Moo, 2004. Yes, a 22-year-old cow.
Let's go see what the profile picture is on this bad boy.
There
we go.
It's my initials and my graduation year. LOL. You're muted.
Kind of pissed off that he told us that. listen, friend, I gotta tell you, this is way less interesting than I was hoping for. I was hoping for maybe you lived not that far from me, in a farm or something. Maybe Alex in Wisconsin, he was near there.
Yeah, could have been.
Damn. Anyway, not to minimize the impact of what you said, says Ciampa FTR promo feels like Gargano is on his way. Buddy, I literally text somebody tonight and said, run me that contract info. By the way, if you like contract info, I'll have more on FightfulSelect.com this week. How about this? Had 3 stories Monday, 2 stories Tuesday, 4 stories today on Fightful Select. I'll have 3 tomorrow. We always have the Debunkathon Friday, and Saturday we're probably doing contract news. As Dave Koss says, I love DIY as much as the next guy, but Ciampa has stated many times this run was for him to prove he can be a top guy again. Want that for him. He already did. Mission accomplished. Bring in the Johnny. He's done it.
I think they can do both, not as a tag team, but anytime one of them needs a guy to back him up, that's the guy. I would love it if they very rarely interacted, but whenever I need a tag partner, I know who I'm picking. I think that could be really good. Keep them separated for a while, but they don't need to be a full-time tag team unless they decide we're going for the tag belts, in which case strap them up.
Cool announcement that I'm not even sure Alex knows yet. Alex and Kate will be doing the official AEW Revolution post show.
Ooh, I did not know that.
I got a early-ish flight the next morning out of Louisville. So I'll be probably popping on the top of the show to give scoops and all that stuff. Right. And then in the days that follow, I'll have a Fightful Select review to make up for Sour Graps over there. But if you want to save a little bit of money on that AEW pay-per-view, go to nordvpn.com/Fightful. Click the Get the Deal button right above the 30-day money-back guarantee note there. You can go to the basic tier, just $291 a month on average. Get that. You can change your virtual location to overseas and get that pay-per-view at a much more affordable price. Hey, you want to talk about WWE content, all the services you need for that? Who knows where NXT is going to be in a while? Like we don't even know. We have no clue where those PLEs are going to be. So get nordvpn.com/Fightful. Use one account for 10 devices. Over 10 years of experience there, by the way. And save money on that. If you're a UFC fan, this weekend, UFC show, Charles Oliveira on the card. Very excited about that. You can, if you're overseas, you can just get Paramount Plus and you don't have to buy a pay-per-view there. There are a million other features there. It works on all operating systems, all devices, but they do all kinds of stuff over there. Click Get the Deal. See what you're missing out on. And most importantly, save yourself some money. If you use a VPN, let us know in the chat. If you're experiencing user errors with your own, you ain't dealing with NordVPN. They make it easy as hell. Go to nordvpn.com/Fightful. Tom LaValle says, even versus FTR, sometimes you got to do it yourself. Well, Swerve was happy to do it himself with the help of Prince Nana, of course. Prince Nana comes out and confronts Brody after Brody says he's the real most dangerous man, which I realize now, and I think I've somebody hinted to me that the Kenny Omega line was intentional. Like when he mentioned that Brody King was the most dangerous man. But Swerve attacks Brody, hangs him with a chain, and says, me and you at Revolution. Love that. Bandito makes the save. This is a hell of a match for AEW Revolution, Alex.
Oh, yeah, man.
A top guy and a guy that you want to be a top guy.
Yeah. This is going to be real hard hitting, really vicious. It's the perfect guy for Swerve to have to, to have to kill him to get past him, type of thing. And perfect guy for Brody to prove he can go with the best guys in AEW. Like they've done a really great job with Brody, as making him into a guy who you believe is on that absolute tier directly below the top 5 or 6 guys in AEW. I think that obviously this is a pyramid, and the top 5 or 6 guys occupy that top level, and then there's probably maybe a dozen who occupy the level below. And I think that Brody is firmly in that level. And before the last few months, I would not have put him in that level. I would have put him the level below that. But he's definitely on that level now. He's doing some great stuff.
Very excited for this match. Sabrina, you missed it. You missed the NordVPN ad read.
No.
Would you switch us off? Are you not committed? Are you not loyal? Well, where's the loyalty?
I mean, I think Sabrina was waiting for the boop and then the recording. But you do all that stuff live now, man. We'll do it live.
Sometimes.
We'll do it live.
I did a recorded one earlier. I put so many in the can that,
Yeah.
Zach Schimmel says, solid show. Everyone should subscribe to Select. What if anything should be added to the Revolution card? Who fights Thekla? Well, it looks like Statlander fights Thekla.
Statlander's getting a rematch against Thekla for sure. That's happening.
Yeah. And we got Thekla defending against Thunder Rosa tonight. I'm just glad to see Thunder Rosa back in a near top spot in there, slugging it out. You know what, Alex? Here's a plug for FightfulSelect.com. I did the latest SRS 10 last week. And I said, what match happened around this time of the year that I rated 10 out of 10? We watched the match on screen. I give you behind the scenes footage on it. Two of my buddies at the time, Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, St. Patrick's Slam.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, you really forget just how good they were at this time.
So good.
And I loved it. Loved it. This match, you had it physical really, really early on. Thekla had the win and stopped the pin. Thunder Rosa hit what they called a cutter. This was an ace crusher, buddy. That's what that was. The kind that you don't want people to do because you know it's just going to destroy their two lower vertebrae type of thing. Not the stunner flat on your ass, not the cutter flat on your back. The vertebrae crusher, effectively. Yeah. The Fire Thunder Driver gets kicked out of, and eventually Thekla wins with the curb stomp. How'd you feel about this match?
I like that she had to do the curb stomp. She did the curb stomp twice.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna put you down for good. This was interesting because I just getting bad vibes from Stat. I've been getting bad vibes from Stat.
That all black, buddy.
With Thunder, she looked like Morpheus standing in the background as Thunder Rosa was shadow boxing.
Take the red
but her coming out and all of the security involved, like, no, we won't let you in. You're not allowed to get in the ring, Statlander, says the security. So they stand in front of her, and then Thekla lays the belt down and does the stomp to Thunder Rosa again, but into the belt this time. And Stat fights her way through all the security guys to get into the ring to cradle the damaged skull of Thunder Rosa. And this is what she meant by she said, be careful, because this woman has no compunction. She will absolutely try to kill you. And Thunder Rosa is that really great character we see in action movies where they're really good, but they're not quite as good as they think they are. Either they're older and they've lost a step, or they're coming back from injury in her case, and they're not really as good, but they think they're every good as used to be. And then the hero knows how good the villain is, and also knows that the villain will kill you if they get the opportunity. Like I like that they're using that here, and I like that they're keeping me on my toes as around, like, is Stat saying be careful because she really is concerned for Thunder Rosa, or because I don't want anybody else to get their hands on Thekla before I do? There's a lot of that here, and I think that there's the TV title change is will be interesting to see now how they run this back at Revolution. Presuming that is the specific match they're doing, and it's not like a triple threat or something. If it's just Stat versus Thekla in a rematch, that should be really interesting to see how they make that move.
Loft Dante says, speaking of Brody King, that show in Minneapolis is going to hit like crack in the 80s. The crowd might hijack that Dynamite. Oh my God. Let me see when that show is. Oh boy. Let's see. Minneapolis. It's St. Paul, but close enough.
Yeah, no, that's the same thing.
March 25th. Okay.
Okay.
That will be one to
put a pin in it. Put a pin in it.
Yeah. They're going to get some mainstream coverage on that evening. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So later on, we get the AEW Trios tag match. We have Okada and Aussie Open.
Yeah.
Defeating Jet Set Rodeo. Dave Koss says, listen, fantastic match. Let me say this. Fantastic match.
Yes.
But Dave Koss brings up what I bring up. 2 more singles champions with trios titles. Sigh. Matthew Hooks of Hooked In Voiceovers, however, says, if they freebird the trios titles, this is good. I would actually like that. If Don Callis was just like, yeah, any 3 of yous.
Don Callis did say that Don Callis will be the World Trios champions. So I kind of like that, because there's like, Josh Alexander, Mark Davis, Hechicero, like whatever guys you want to throw in there could be really, really fun. But I also do like this particular trio, and I don't like singles championships also being the trios titles. I don't like that, but I do like these three guys. Well, mostly because we get it. It's the return of Aussie Open again. And I feel so great for Mark Davis that Mark Davis gets to be a champion. Gets to be 2/3 of the trios champs with his old buddy and partner Kyle Fletcher. But yeah, I mean, this is all. I'm on a huge hubris kick with baby faces across all of wrestling who get a little over their skis and maybe don't realize what they're getting themselves into. And I'm a big proponent, and always have been, of when the baby face does that, they need to be put down, because that's the way the stories have been told since the Greeks. When the king decides, yes, I will lead my army of 400 men against that army of 20,000 men. We shall be victorious. All of them are slaughtered. That's the way it has to work, because that is a fatal flaw in the tragic hero. And I kind of like that Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey were like, we'll fight you whenever. That's right. And then they lose. I mean, that's kind of the way it's supposed to happen. And I also like this wrinkle in the Okada, Fletcher, Takeshita trio. Like, if we get Takeshita beating Moxley, and we got all three of them with belts, and they eventually they're the kind of have a three-way falling out, are we getting a triple threat match where all three of the titles are on the line? Like, is that a thing that we might be getting by Double or Nothing time? There's a lot of really cool wrinkles in here, but about tonight, I absolutely agree. The titles in the Don Callis family should be freebirded.
Yes. And hopefully off of people with singles titles, as much as I like Okada and Kyle Fletcher.
Yes.
I feel like that is very important. Orion Ben says Dark Order somewhere laughing at jet speed. And Dave Koss says nothing like wanting jet speed to stop talking about singles while trios champs, then dropping them to two singles champs. Pumped for Davis, though. That is the ultimate silver lining in all of this. Is Mark Davis, who he gets hurt a couple times. That sucks. His tag team partner has taken off as a singles wrestler. Doesn't suck, but obviously not the best for tag team future. Then he gets a tag team partner that everybody is excited for. Jake Doyle gets hurt. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But Mark Davis has been still factored onto TV and now a trios champion.
Yeah.
And trios champion with one of the gentlemen he teamed with and one of the biggest wrestlers on the planet.
Yep.
That's a very great thing, Alex.
Yeah. Yep. Loved it.
We also have Lupangi Vice saying he had a mad rough weekend. I can't pronounce that. Vasovagal syncope leading to a head injury and concussion. Well, man, I hope you're okay. 36 hours in the hospital. Davis winning gold has helped immensely. Oh, it's she. Sorry. Can't keep a good Aussie down. Oh my gosh, that is just a brutal. Listen, sorry. It was the had hit all that stuff got me tripped up throughout all this. Clearly I stuttered, but my God, I hope you're doing all right. First off,
but that's rough. Rough.
Jesus Christ. But listen, Mark Davis came to the rescue, by God.
Yes.
In Simmons says, love the match. The Kevin Knight story is interesting. I smell a heel turn down the line. What does GOA have to do to hold some tag gold? Also, they have a stacked trios division right now. And a Spinal Tap turned it up to 11, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Wow.
What do you think GOA has to do to get a title or championship, whatever that may be?
Well, that's the thing, is if we're saying no singles champs can be trios champs, then they can't be trios champs until Ricochet loses. I mean, he might lose to Jack Perry if they're going to do that at Revolution. I don't know. He might, but I think the trios titles can be hot potatoed. I mean, they have been with the Ops to Jet Set Rodeo to the Don Callis family happening in very quick succession. That's possible too. The tag titles. I mean, if my thought with the tag titles is that once they're off FTR, I mean, if the Bucks beat FTR for them, then once they're off the Bucks, I would love it if no repeat tag teams for like a year. There are enough really good tag teams that a bunch of new tag team champions could be made, and GOA absolutely could be one of those tag teams to hold it for sure.
Guys, as always, please check out all the great content on our channel. We have Rocky Romero interview that went up last week, and it's like 30 minutes of just talking business, talking about New Japan contracts, all that. We had Gabby Forza with Joel Pearl on Monday. I have Persephone tomorrow. I have another very interesting interview in light of the reports that we posted on Fightful Select about Statlander and Mance Warner. I dropped a very short one with Drew McIntyre today. Had a bunch of wrestlers discussing who should be the lowest rated character in WWE 2K26. We have the Kira interview on Fightful Espanol. I know this is crazy, but we actually, especially me, did not crumble Lucha Libre as it is known today this week. It's still firing on all cylinders, and you got a huge Persephone Mercedes match this weekend. I am on Facebook now, and I'm TikToking, damn it.
Wow.
They got me on the TikTok. Now, to be fair, my TikTok is Sean Ross Sapp doesn't TikTok, and I can't change it.
No.
So,
that's what
Alex, where can the people find you?
You can find me, I'm barely on social media, but if you want to follow me, it's Alex Sourgraps. And you can find me on Fightful Select reviewing Raw and stuff on the weekends. I thought I were doing the Revolution show on Fightful Select, but now I'm doing it on the main show. But also on the main show is this Saturday is Vengeance Day. Kate running from the grind. But instead of Kate, it's going to be SP3. So it's me and SP3 doing the NXT Vengeance Day show this Saturday. So come over here and hang out.
Until next time, my friends, we are out.